if you're watching this video, please do whatever the kidnappers say. Please pay the... How much, Johnny? You think they're going to pay that much money to get me back, Johnny? Johnny says Johnny says 50,000 in cold cash. They're never going to pay that. You know that, right? These people don't have that kind of money. $50,000. Johnny, you've been at this way too long. Oh, good grief. No, just go sit down. I got a show to do here. Just go. I ain't got time for your... No, you can kidnap me all you want. I don't have time for your foolishness. These people need me. Hello, everyone. Jay Hartman here from Misti Media. Many thanks to Becky over at Becky Vintage and More for sending you folks on over here to me. I very much appreciate it. Here in a place you folks don't usually see me, but the old homestead here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Unfortunately, I cannot be there live with you folks today. Why? Due to scheduling changes for the train hop, and due to the time zone difference, I'm actually at my day job. So it's not possible for me to be here with you live. Instead, you get this video of me. Today's recording has been handled by electrical transcriptions or tape recordings. So unfortunately, yep, I can't be there live with you doing an interview, and I can't be live with you in the chat. So this is the best it gets. Hopefully that's good enough. If it's not, what do you want me to do about it? I can't change it. I'm just here. I still made the effort. I mean, granted, I'm recording this video 3 hours before it's the day of the shop hop, but I had to figure out my angles and figure out how to record, and I don't usually do recordings, and it's all just weird and strange and unfriendly, and I'm gonna cry, so we're not gonna go down that road. As many of you may know, I am not your typical reseller because I'm your publisher friend of the channels. I publish stuff in all kinds of genres, and so any book that you purchase from me today is actually brand new. It's going to be printed just for you in a print location very close to wherever you live. Typically ships out within 24 hours of me placing the order. Down in the bottom one of these corners, you should see pinned a message with a link to all of the books that are being featured in my show today. It's a continuation of what we did with the book fair last weekend, a week ago Saturday, where all the proceeds from any of the titles that have my name on it or Sandra Murphy's name on it, all of the proceeds will go directly to First Book, which is our charity for kids that live in areas where books are scarce, books are expensive, teachers don't have the resources for their classrooms that they need. So it's all a way to help them get the resources they need. The books are all going to be $13 each, and that includes free worldwide shipping. So the only exception to the free shipping, the only exception to the world shipping is Linda K. Hardy's children's picture book, and that's just because that actually is not printed by us. That is from Linda's former publisher that closed, and we have picked up the rights to her hardcover. But if you do buy that book, Linda will personally autograph it and send it out. And if you do want a special message put inside for the child in your life, you can absolutely do that. I believe it will allow you to include a note when you place an order through the form. If for some reason it doesn't, just shoot me an email at jhartman, that's JHARTMAN, at mistimedia.com, but that's going to be down in the show notes as well, in case you need to. So I want to talk about a couple, well, a few of the books actually that are going to be part of the shop hop. But hang on one second because it's telling me that my computer is about out of battery. So that must be because my puppy did something. And I'm not going to edit that out. Why? Because I don't know how. I don't know how. I only know how to do lives. I'm totally winging this. I don't have to be professional. It's my field. It's my feed. It's my half hour. I can do what I want. That's the joy of being an adult. I can have Lucky Charms for dinner if I want to. Okay, let's just get back to the books. So, I want to talk about some of the books that you'll see on that form. Again, all $13 each, all printed brand new for you. They all have that new book smell. Stuff will get you high, man. So, first up, Hidden History, The Donut Dollies in Vietnam. This may be the single most important book I have ever published in my career. The Donut Dollies were Red Cross volunteer women. They were nurses who would go out into the battlefield with the men, and they would actually be right out there in the battlefield with them. They were nurses, but they also provide entertainment. Unfortunately, a show called China Beach that aired many, many years ago depicted these ladies as basically being prostitutes and really unseemly and didn't give them the justice they deserved. Further, even though these women have seen combat and many of them are suffering from Agent Orange poisoning, among other things, they've never been granted veteran status. So even though they served just like the men, they don't get any of the veteran benefits, privileges that they should be rightfully entitled to. When the author brought this and his agent brought this title to me, I realized just how important it was to get that title out into the public, because this isn't just about telling somebody's story. This is about getting justice for the women that deserve it. There are still a number of these ladies still alive, and they are still touring around and talking, especially at VA centers, about their experiences. We do have people that are lobbying on Capitol Hill to get get bills passed to get these women their rights and their benefits. So we really are hoping that people will read this book, be moved to write their senators and their representatives, and ask for equal treatment for these women for what they 100% deserve to have. They've given their time, they've given their bodies, they've given their minds in some cases. In some cases, they've given their lives. So we hope you'll support them. I can tell you that the author has not taken 1 cent in royalty for this title. In fact, he has been buying hundreds of copies to give away for free just to get the word out. He's a remarkable man. Richard Sand is the author, and it's a really moving book. And if you have any interest in women in history, wartime biographies and autobiographies, this is absolutely the title that you should be taking a look at. It's really great stuff. To lighten it up a little, the next one is A Killing at the Copa. Which way do I turn it? There's the camera. A Killing at the Copa, and these are crime stories inspired by the music of Barry Manilow, which may not seem like things go together that well. You don't exactly think Mandy and think murder. Some people would say it might be Murder on Their Ears, but I grew up as a huge Barry Manilow fan. Barry Manilow was a big part of my childhood. Must be why I'm gay, right? No, because I didn't like Cher, and I didn't like all that Judy Garland and all that other stuff. I just liked Barry Manilow. Even went to see him, as a matter of fact, when I was real little, like Copacabana tour kind of thing. Um, but I got inspired that maybe some of those songs would lend themselves really well to crime stories if people took a certain take on them. And all of these authors do an amazing job. I believe there's 12 stories in here. Everybody taking their turn at a different song. Um, I'm not supposed to have favorites, but if any of you were at the book fair that we did online last week, you'll have seen that Laurie Stevens read a portion of her Stalker story from Weekend in New England. Highly, highly recommend it. Even if you don't end up purchasing the book today, by all means, you really need to go back to the book fair video and watch the last roughly 20 minutes or so of Lori doing her reading. It's pretty astounding. You will believe she's a stalker. You'll believe it in a heartbeat. But the stories are really great. People have really taken. The idea wasn't to necessarily make a story exactly out of the song, but to be inspired by the lyrics. And so anybody who's familiar with most of Barry's big hits will have no problem at all getting into these stories. And again, they're short stories. So the nice thing is that when you do read it, you don't have to sit down and read a whole book in one sitting. These are bite-sized chunks. So if you've only got time waiting in line somewhere, or at night before you head off to bed, you just want to get one story in. Short story anthology is the great way to go. Doesn't require a whole lot of time investment on your part. So you can enjoy these little nuggets of murder and mayhem in A Killing at the Copa. It's one of the most fun anthologies I put out. I got a couple of others in here that I'm going to show you folks as well, but that one's kind of near and dear to my heart. The next up is I absolutely wanted to. This wasn't originally on the list, but we're updating the list tonight after I get done recording this to include this title. This is Debra H. Goldstein's With Our Bellies Full and the Fire Dying. It is a collection. It's Tales of Sinning and Redemption, a short story collection from Debra. One of the main reasons I want to highlight is she has just been nominated for the Silver Falchion Award at Killer Nashville for this short story collection. I'm really chuffed that I was able to publish this short story collection for Debra, and that she's on her way to potentially winning a major award with it. That's not an easy accomplishment. And this short story collection is really, I'd call it literary crime. Debra has a really elevated sophistication to her writing. She's better known as Judge Debra Goldstein. So she's got some legitimate chops there for writing about crime that comes through in the writing really clean. But the fact that she's nominated for an award like the Silver is a big deal. I mean, every author wants to be able to put award winner or award nominated next to their name. There's a lot of awards out there that are small that nobody's ever heard of, but this is kind of a big deal for Killer Nashville to be nominating her collection for Best of. I'm a little jealous because Debra's also nominated with another anthology in the same category from another publisher. But the good thing is I'm very good friends with the other publisher. Actually, he's one of my best buds and lives over in, his name's John Connor. He lives over in the UK. And either one of us would be thrilled for the other if Debra wins from either his anthology or my short story collection. I will, of course, get him to send me a ton of tea and some of my favorite British biscuits, if you will, should I be the winner. If he wins, I don't think he gets anything. I think that seems fair. I don't think I should have to send anything. But if I win, I should get something. It is really, like I said, it's almost literary crime is kind of the best way I can put it. It's just exceptional. It really is. One of my best new finds for authors, there is a publishing house that had closed its doors, and it kind of left everybody stranded that had been there. And I've always made it a point with my publishing house that I want to have it be a welcoming place where authors from other publishing houses that may have gone under, can find a new home so that they're not out of print for very long. And Gerald Elias, Murder on Vacation, soon I will figure out how to hold a book up to the camera. But I can tell you, it's probably not going to be tonight. Might be on the next one. Murder on Vacation. Stories from the case files of Maury Gross, NYPD, retired. This is the kind of quintessential beach read, is kind of how I would put this. Gerald's protagonist, Maury Gross, is, as it says, a retired NYPD detective. He and his wife Bobby are trying to go on vacations, but of course crime and mayhem follow them wherever they may go. The short stories are sort of interconnected because of their travels, but it's still entirely possible to sit down and enjoy each story on its own. If you haven't seen my interview with Gerald, Gerald was my guest on, well, that's a good question. I believe it was last month's Shop Hop that Gerald was my guest. So go back and check that one out if you can. Gerald talks a lot about the making of this book. There's a couple of things that really make this one stand out for me. One is that there's a good amount of humor. Gerald himself is a really funny guy. He and I share some twisted stuff in terms of sense of humor. Also, very unusual in that we can call it Jewish fiction. Although Judaism isn't a giant piece of this, it is a piece of it, and there's not a whole lot of that out there. Stuff that's being written, tends to not have very diverse characters, and I'm very much about publishing diverse authors as well as diverse characters. I want to be able to publish stuff that not everybody has read and seen everywhere else, and I think that Murder on Vacation is a really great example of a really fun read. Again, bite-sized and just a whole lot of fun. And most of what I'm showing today are short stories, short story collections and anthologies. We do publish full-length stuff, absolutely, but we got our start doing anthologies because the short story market has really been hurting. And outlets for authors to be able to write short stories and have a market to sell them has been really difficult. And it is a true art form. Being able to tell an entire story in such a short format and have it all come together at the end is not easy to do. So next up, talking about the full lengths we do publish, shifting from mystery and crime. We have got Resolute Command by James R. Prosser Jr. Resolute Command. Hold it back. Look, now you can actually see the whole cover. Wow, look at that. Hey, look at that. Might actually learn something before the show's over after all. Kind of like the old Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, and if you're not careful, you might learn something before it's done. Although, what we all learned about Cosby wasn't the kind of thing you go talk about in school. We didn't need that kind of education, did we? Resolute Command, for those of you who like your fiction on the sci-fi side, especially space opera, space wars, ships blowing up other ships, alien contact, we got it all for you here in Resolute Command. James R. Prosser Jr. is a school teacher out of Palm Bay, Florida. I'm not going to lie, he's a childhood friend. He and I were in high school together. We lost contact for many, many years. When we did get reconnected, I found out that he had become an author, and a really, really good author, and a guy that's really dedicated to his craft. So I wanted to be a part of his publishing adventures. Look at that, my camera. Come on. You know, did I mention that I don't usually do recordings? And did I mention that I really don't edit either? Oh, I can't wait for you guys to just sit there and go, wow, what a disaster this guy is. But I digress. James is a really, really talented author. He had been doing some self publishing, and I didn't feel like it was giving him a wide enough stage for him to be able to really showcase his talents out on the market. I felt it was kind of limited, and I thought he was good enough that people everywhere in the world should be able to read him. So, Resolute Command is the first book that we've released. It's subtitled Book 1 of the War on Terra. War for Terra. And so if you like this one, rest assured we've got a bunch more in the pipeline that are coming that I think all of you are going to really, really like. The other thing I should add is that all of our books are also available as ebooks. So you can get them wherever ebooks are sold. I will tell you my usual pitch, which is do not buy from Amazon under any circumstances. Do not buy your ebooks from Amazon. Amazon does not allow you to own your book. Amazon only allows you to have a license to read the book. You do not own your book at any time, and at any time, Amazon can revoke that license and take that book off of your bookshelf. If you order from pretty much anywhere else, you're good to go. We highly recommend buying directly from us because this way more royalties stay with the authors and with us. And we do sell both ebook and print from our websites, which are also going to be listed down below in the show notes when I get my act together. Nazca Press is our science fiction and fantasy imprint, so you'll find don't have a whole lot of books under Nazca at the moment, but we're working on building up that imprint so that we can have even more authors like James that we can feature and really, really enjoy. Switching a little bit over now to horror. How much time have I got left? That clock says 22 minutes in. Hey, you know what? I still got 8 minutes to annoy all of you. I like that. I like that idea a lot. All right. Strange people. Yeah, see, I thought I had learned this, and clearly I didn't. Look at that. I messed that up already. Strange People, Scary People. A collection of dark stories by Tally Harbor. If you're leaning towards fiction, lean a little bit more towards the horror / thriller / sex. This is the short story collection for you. Tally is a odd writer, shall we say. His stories do not fit a typical mold. They are definitely unusual and creative, and certainly not the kind of thing you're going to read everywhere else. The horror is not over the top. These are not designed to be bloodbath kind of books. His stories aren't like that, but they're especially creepy in a psychological way. They are certainly entertaining as we get it closer and closer to that Halloween season. I almost said the Hollywood season, and God knows this boy's not invited to the Oscars. So if you like a little bit spookier of a tale, I would recommend that. I think that's a really, really good collection. Next up is Lunatic Fringe. Lunatic Fringe. Everybody sing Lunatic Fringe. Nobody knows any other lyrics to that song. It's amazing it's a one-hit wonder because nobody knows the rest of the lyrics to that song. Except Angry Otter. If you're Angry Otter, you probably know all the lyrics to that song. Anybody else out there? Nah. This is a really unique anthology because this is the second volume of songs based on one-hit wonders. This was a fun anthology that I put together that I really, really... I'm very much inspired by music. Music is a big piece of my everyday life. And when I was with my previous publishing house, a guy named Josh Pachter had kind of inspired me to start doing musical themed anthologies, and it was it was a kicking off point that really kind of stuck with me, and I just kept coming up with ideas. I mean, the Barry Manilow, Michael Bracken's done an anthology for us, all with Aerosmith inspired crime stories. Look at this. John Connor did a really cool layout in this book for us, where he whatever song the story is based on, he actually put in a little record of it, a little 45. For those of you out there under a certain age, this is how we used to listen to music. We didn't have this thing called streaming. We had this thing with a little ring in the center of it because it was a 45. But some of the one-hit wonders in here, Roll to Me, Black Velvet, I Just Died in Your Arms, one of my favorite songs, Rock Me Amadeus, Mr. Big Stuff, Sonny Came Home. So spanning many, many years, many decades, really, really fun book. And to piggyback on that one, we have Gag Me with a Spoon, humorous crime stories inspired by the songs of the 80s. This one was a lot of fun to put together. Oh, there's a picture of the Aerosmith one that's available. Janie's Got a Gun, crime stories inspired by the music of Aerosmith. Which, by the way, even if you don't order through our form tonight, this afternoon, sorry, it's tonight when I'm filming because, again, I waited till the last minute to shoot this thing. So in the afternoon, when you're watching this, if you choose not to order from our link because you're an ogre and you don't want to help children, you don't want to see kids have books, I mean, that's fine. If that's who you want to be. I mean, we're going to tell everybody, but if that's who you want to be. All of our books are available either directly from us or directly from your favorite bookstore anywhere in the world. Print book, but if you do order any of the print books directly from us, they all ship for free. This collection includes stories based on In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, Our Lips Are Sealed, The Safety Dance, Uptown Girl, The Future's So Bright I Gotta Wear Shades, and the aforementioned Josh Pachter has a submission to this one called based on Tom Petty's Free Fallin'. Running out of time, thank God, because boy, the pressure. I do want to mention a couple books that are not going to be on that form, but are available to order from any of your favorite bookstores. Marilyn Todd is one of the most celebrated crime writers out there, and this is her short story collection, Desperate Housewines. Marilyn has a wicked sense of humor. I love her. Her short stories have that humor in them, but they're also really great stories that are all completely original. All of these, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, all of these have been previously published in magazines, and then we collected them all and put them together. So there's all kinds of stories from over her career collected in here. And I'm actually Debra Goldstein's collection as well, with Our Bodies Full and the Fire and the Fire Burning. With Our Bellies Full and the Fire Dying. There's a bunch of that collection from Debra also contains a bunch of her previously published stuff and some award nominees and winners in there as well. So really great stuff. And wrapping up this session is one of our guilty pleasure publications. Look, it's a little bit smaller book. Look, he's kind of small. Look, he's a little wee guy. This is Santa Rage, a Killer Claws compendium. This would best be described as a grindhouse type of book. Not quite splatterpunk, but definitely grindhouse. The premise being what happens when Santa is finally fed up with all the people on his naughty list, and he decides to go out and wreak revenge with something a hell of a lot worse than coal. People die in really explosive ways. This is murder. There's mayhem. Some of these stories have a touch of horror to them. Not recommended for people under the age of 16 due to the content. But if you want just good old-fashioned, you know, rage. I mean, I remember our submission call said prostitutes and meth dealers are perfectly okay in the stories. I mean, this is the kind of book that you want to see. Well, folks, I did it. I made it to the 30-minute mark. How about that? I'm actually a couple seconds over. From here, you guys all go, well, out that door behind me would be the best way, because if you go forward, you're going out my window. And, I have enough people breaking in. So you guys are going to leave here. You're heading over to my buddy Tooch, man. He's going to clean out your wallets. If I didn't do a good enough job, trust me, he's going to show up with his 3D stuff, and your wallet is hosed. But he's my buddy, my brother from another mother. Take care of Tooch when you guys get over there. And I will see all of you back here next month when we jump in again on the Shop Hop. Now you guys get to watch me lean out of frame and hit the stop record button. Then you'll know it's really over, and you can head over to Tooch's place, okay? So watch carefully, and here I go. I lied. I can't find the stop button.